Next, we will hear from Professor Robert Szuchy, Professor and Vice Rector of Karol Gaspar University in Hungary. Professor will offer his perspective on balancing digital powers and social equality in Europe's energy transition. Professor, the screen is yours.
First of all, can you hear me right now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so thank you very much for the great opportunity to be here today. Unfortunately, I was not able to visit you in person right now, even though I planned. However, I thank you very much for the opportunity for the organizers to participate in that way. I just would like to share my slides, if it's possible. Can you see me? Can you see my slides right now? No, not that one.
Website only.
Only you can see the website. Anyway. Okay. I'm just not. I'm not. Even though I prepared a very nice presentation, I just don't want to waste time for sharing my slides. Even though I sent my slides before. So what I would like to talk about, the AI right now. There's a huge demand for the AI can promise lots of social health benefits. You can use AI in several ways, in several fields. For example, the healthcare, education, even in energy efficiency. But there's a huge cost. There's a rising energy cost for that. AI systems requires massive amount of electricity. As we can see, globally, data centers already use 1.5% of the electricity use, and demand is expected to be more than double by 2030. So data centers consumes around 3% of the European Union's total electricity. And in certain countries, like in Ireland, we can see that over 20% of the national electricity use is used for AI centers and other data centers. So my topic and my research topic today is how AI data centers are expanding quickly and the electricity demand, and it brings lots of social concerns as well. So my key question and my key research question is AI making the society better, or is it just a very expensive way how we use electricity? And at the same time, what type of environmental impact we have right now? Just what we can see right now. When we see the global numbers, the European data centers demand could increase by 30% from 2023 to 2026. And basically, that's like a 70% growth by 2030, which is about almost 45 terawatt hours of annual consumption by 2030. This is, as we can see, this is almost a single large data center can use as much electricity in a year as like 100,000 households. Why AI is so power hungry? This is my first questions. If we have the previous models like the ChatGPT number 3, this language model was a bit less electricity consuming than the actual model what we can do. And we use very power consuming data processors, and also AI accelerating models has also a large electricity demand. Meanwhile, besides the large computing capacities, we not only need to power the computer chips, but we also have to think about cooling and also the additional services around the AI systems. The key question is, if where the electricity comes from, how we are powering the AI boom. Can it be done simply by clean energy, or what's happening right now? Right now, if we see the data centers, there is a nice trend that we would like to feed the data centers by renewable energies like solar or wind, but at the same time, still natural gas and other primary energy sources, even fossil fuels, are also needed. So, and there are ambitious technological companies who plan to run their facilities 100% from renewable energy sources. But most of the time, it's just the business plan, and still they're running business data centers from fossil fuels. If you see, for example, the American model in US, most of the time they deploying fossil power plants like gas power plants and gas turbines next to data centers. And there's tendency, there's been some trends, and there's the data centers, large data centers, examining the possibilities also to renew even closed nuclear power plants to serve their electricity need. But what we can see right now, not all AI servers and not all AI servers are fed by green electricity, because a certain time of day, green energy and green electricity just simply not available. So therefore, the natural gas, it's still important in this regard. If you see the impact for data centers, what we can see, what type of other problems we may face. But beyond the climate concerns, the AI servers using a very high, very powerful infrastructure as well. And electricity, which is not limited, we also need, the electricity is not limited, but we have to also think about the grid concerns as well. For example, the certain period of time of the year, there are like huge spikes when we're using electricity. And in some regions, we have some very nice research from the United States that in Connecticut, there's been nearly a 20% jump of use of electricity by servers. And sometimes there are like very strong, let's say, spikes. And these electricity spikes used by AI-driven AI servers can heavily affect the grids. So when we are talking about the second problem, is not only the amount of electricity what we are using for that, but it also heavily affects the existing infrastructures as well. So what we can do that. There are some, we can do several things. Of course, we can ban data centers, or we can tax data centers. And in certain countries, like the Dutch government, made a temporary ban on new hyperscale data centers in 2022. And there has been several local regulations locally, for example, in Belgium, where the huge spikes of electricity usage of data centers could affect households as well. So what is the crucial social question right now? Who bears the cost of the necessary grid updates and the higher operation costs? If in the end of the day, rural towns or local municipalities should pay the bill at the same time, it means that even the poorer part of the society should pay the cost of the infrastructure developing. So I'm really believe that that approach is not fair, because the energy hunger AI models use lots of energy, and meanwhile they are not paying, not covering even the necessary costs for the grid capacity developments as well. My theory here, which I would like to talk about, this is the energy poverty, and what I call, it's called double inequality. If the AI servers, of course, it's also applicable for traditional servers as well, but right now I wanted to talk about AI servers, which has the largest electricity demand right now, as I previously explained before. So if the electricity prices are increasing, and if the electricity prices in the field of green energy is increasing, it hits the low-income households the hardest. So we can also talk about the theory of energy poverty, which means that energy poverty means that those households who can't afford basic energy services like heating in an adequate way in their home. According to recent European Union's survey, unfortunately, a bit more than 10% of the EU citizens are affected by energy poverty. This is an enormous amount of people. It's about nearly 50 million people in the European Union, which means that these people are not able to keep their homes warm in wintertime. Nearly 6% of the European population are heavily affected by necessary, they don't have access for heating, or at least not in the right way. So if we deploy more AI servers, it's necessary increase the electricity prices and energy prices as well. So even though that the growth of the AI data centers contributes for the global economy, but it's quite sure that due to the high demand of electricity, they push the electricity costs up, and also it can also increase the inequality in the field of energy, because the electricity and the cheaper electricity shall not be accessible for the large part of the society. And we can also see, and this is what I call double inequality, that even though that the AI models like ChatGPT and Gemini and other services, in the beginning they started as a free services, but now we can see that you have to pay first 20 euros, then 200 euros, and maybe 2,000 euros later on. So those companies, even though large companies, shall be able to pay that price, but individuals or even small and medium enterprises shall not be able to pay that monthly fee for the AI services, because maybe sooner or later we have a 10,000 euros monthly subscription fee model. We have a 50,000 per month subscription model. These models shall be very effective and shall help a lot and shall brings lots of effectiveness to a corporation itself. But small and medium enterprises locally and individuals, private individuals, will not be able to afford to buy that. And so if you are not able to subscribe for certain AI services, and at the same time you will not be able to pay your electricity bills, or you have to pay more for electricity, because that electricity which is available in the market shall be consumed by heavily consuming AI server farms, then you are affected two times in a negative way. Once you are just simply not available to access for those services, and on the other hand, you have to pay much more fee for electricity. So what is my suggestions, and just one more aspect of the AI servers, we have also an environmental cost, because AI servers, they are not just about electricity and energy use. These servers are continuously updated. They have newer and newer versions, better and better hardwares. Even though that classic server farms has been used for many years, AI servers heavily updated. So you have to change, you have to update the infrastructure quite often, even every year, even every second year. So meanwhile, if you see the data centers, we realize that there's a huge carbon footprint right now, but to manufacture these devices and these equipments, they are also very energy consuming. This is a very high. There's a high risk that this is a very energy consuming field where you have to produce server farms, and not only the production itself can be very harmful for the environment and for the whole society, but what shall we do with the waste? AI hardware's life cycle is quite short, as it can be as short as 2 years, 3 years. So that's why in the very short future, by the end of 2030, there could be, based on the worst estimation, 5 million metric tons. This is large amounts, 5 million metric tons of electricity waste, which means it means that 60% increase of the total waste generation, computer waste generation than before. So if we calculate the carbon footprint for the manufacturing, and if we also calculate the waste what we can create with AI servers, and we're not even talking about the raw materials, where we can find the raw materials, where we can mine the raw materials, what is the social cost of raw materials mining in certain countries, that's also a huge question. Even though that the Circular Economy Act and the EU legislation have strict rules for e-waste, but still the European Union has to treat very carefully these electricity waste in the soon future. So what is my proposal? I really would like to respect the time, because as I've seen, I only have 15 minutes for talk, and I don't want to waste your time. And I also have a written form, and I hope you will receive my PowerPoint presentation as well, because I just summarized my main points with the correct references in that. So what is the responsible way, and what we can do, how we can react to that trends? Because this mega trend, setting up and deploying more and more AI servers, it's a trend, and the European Union simply cannot stop it. So I have like 5 remarks or recommendations. First of all, I suggest to scale up the AI infrastructure very carefully. The EU has very clear ambition for the digital infrastructures. There is a Cloud and AI Development Act, which may come expected in the late 2025. And that's why the European Union has a plan to triple the EU data centers capacity within 5-7 years. So that's why when we plan AI servers, we have to find the most efficient way, and we have to focus on using clean energy as much as possible. The data centers in the EU digital strategy, the data centers must be green and must be energy efficient. So therefore, it's very important. It's very important to integrate the AI boom in the EU decarbonization plan, meaning that the digital sector should share equal responsibility in the climate against fight of climate change, and that's why they should be part of the process as well. I believe and it's also agreed among response manager for data centers, meaning that the big data centers should be required to adjust the use of the peak times, or another option to install and deploy on-site generation and storage capacities just to serve their needs. And I'm also encouraging to have a tariff reforms, meaning that for certain industrial players, like AI servers, they should provide extra additional contributions for grid developments, and because not all consumers are the same. So we should also add the cost of the development of the grids. And for example, I'm encouraging to set even higher tariffs and higher grid tariffs for server farms, and especially for AI server farms, because these server farms, they can create lots of money for the owners, but they use the grids and use the available and balancing power much more than other industries. And at the same time, even though and we also have to protect the vulnerable consumers as well, even though the European Union had made lots of efforts, we have the social climate fund as part of the Fit for 55 climate package, but we should also examine the possibility to put some extra tax or extra contribution, social tax, for example, on server farms and the AI server farms. And the money which can be collected in that way could be put in the climate fund, or put in national funds from where they can finance the lower income families. And finally, the big question is AI truly contributing to a better society given all these costs? What I can say is true that AI helps to get better medical diagnosis. It also helps us to optimize the energy and electricity system. It helps, it improves the education through personalized tutoring systems, and AI can solve lots of complex scientific problems. But these potential benefits are often available only a very short part of the society. But we have to see the whole balance. And that's why it's very important for us that whenever we deploying AI servers and server farms itself, and I truly believe that AI, with all the risks of the AI, general risks of AI, it's a different topic we can talk about a lot, but if you see it in electricity perspectives, AI can have a very important and very useful impact on our society, but due to the fact that it uses a huge amount of electricity and huge amount of energy, and also it creates lots of e-waste and lots of pollution, to maximize the benefits, the potential benefits of AI system, we have to be really careful, and we have to balance. We have to balance with regulation, with taxation, these data centers, just to have the right balance between the social requirements of the society and the potential benefits of AI system. So this is briefly, and I hope I managed to respect the available time, but I think I managed to highlight the main points of my research. Thank you very much for listening to me.